We'll be looking at Mark 8, verses 22 through 30. Mark 8, 22 through 30. As you turn there, I want to draw your attention to the fact that when we find out who somebody is, we sometimes treat them differently, don't we? I can remember one time, a long time ago, when I was scheduled to go on a blind date. I had not met this girl before. We were to meet at a restaurant until she found out I was a Presbyterian. And that was the end of that. I wasn't to go on that date with that girl. People are always trying to figure out who we are. And here in the scriptures, if you've been following along in the book of Mark, or perhaps in your Bible reading, if you've read the book of Mark recently, you find out that people are always trying to figure out who Jesus is up to this high point and climax of the middle part of the book. So follow along as I read Mark 8, beginning with verse 22, and we'll read through verse 30. And they came to Bethsaida, and some people brought to him a blind man and begged him to touch him. And he took the blind man by the hand and led him out of the village. And when he had spit on his eyes and laid his hands on him, he asked him, "Do you see anything?" Then he looked up and said, "I see people, but they look like trees walking." Then Jesus laid his hands on his eyes again, and he opened his eyes, and his sight was restored, and he saw everything clearly. And he sent him to his home, saying, "Do not even enter the village." And Jesus went on with his disciples to the villages of Caesarea Philippi. And on the way he asked his disciples, "Who do people say that I am?" And they told him.